Hi, this is Mary Kirby, also known as Runway Girl. You can find me at flightglobal.com/runwaygirl. That's not too hard.
Hi, Runway Girl readers. This is Mary Kirby, also known as Runway Girl. I am here freezing my little butt off in front of the beautiful Lancaster Airport. It happens to be down the road from my house, and I figured it's a great place to stage the next video cast. Today we're going to talk about in-flight connectivity for pilots. Do they want it? Do they care about it? Does it make sense? So let's get started. Today I'm talking to Paul Richfield. He is a commercial airline pilot, but he also flies privately. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thank you, Mary.
What do you think, Paul? Is there any need in the cockpit for in-flight connectivity now?
Absolutely. I think it would be a great benefit to operators of smaller aircraft that either can't fit or can't afford the larger systems like ACARS and data link that you have in the Part 121 airplanes. The question you have to ask is, do the gains that you get from airborne internet outweigh what you already get with the existing system? And then you get in the subject of an equipment mandate. If you say, all right, every airplane's got to have this airborne internet stuff, then who builds it? How much does it cost? Does everybody have to have it? Could it be a benefit to pilots? Yes. Is it technically feasible? Yes. Will it ever happen? We'll see.
Do you want to stay connected in flight?
Yes, I think it would be of value, mainly now with the current airspace environment where you can have what we call pop-up temporary flight restrictions, where when you took off, it was fine to fly through a given area, but when sometime en route, the situation changed and suddenly the FAA wants to make a certain block of airspace off limits. With airborne connectivity, you could get that kind of information and deviate around that airspace. Right now, you don't really have that unless you're operating a fairly large and sophisticated airplane with data link.
Do you think there's any type of particular interest one way or the other from a standpoint of satellite-based connectivity versus air-to-ground versus, as you mentioned, the nodes on what would be the most beneficial to a pilot, or do you think that it's sort of irrelevant what the actual service provider will be based on?
Well, I think everyone nowadays would tend to lean towards satellites because of our reliance on the GPS system. It's more robust than any kind of ground-based system. So I think you're definitely leaning towards a GPS-based or a satellite-based kind of system.
Do you think there's any benefit for a flight crew to have in-flight internet?
Well, yes, there are a number of connectivity issues that we could use in flight. There's a lot of weather products available over the internet and through other sources that we could use to enhance safety and efficiency of flight operations.
As a passenger, are you interested in it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think would be very beneficial to have, particularly on longer flights and international flights. And as a passenger, I think connectivity is long overdue, and it's about time that we're really jumping on board with this. It will allow business travelers to conduct business in flight and make productive use of time that would otherwise be pretty much dead time.
Why do you think it's taken so long?
It's a combination of the technology maturing and the market not being quite ready for it.
Your carrier, American Airlines, has been one of the first to bring it here in the United States. Do you think your carrier's on the forefront then of this element of in-flight services?
Well, I think it's something we want to provide to our passengers, but we always have the cost-benefit ratio. And the thing is, if our competitors are offering it, then we're going to have to offer it as well.
From the U.S. Aviation Online Message Forum, we got a real mixed bag of comments. There's very limited need for this during flight, maybe to check the next rad weather for strategic route changes along the way, but not much else. I could see its use to be beneficial reaching the gate area, though. There's lots of professional uses for internet there, but a simple router would work for that. It would be absolutely invaluable to have in-flight weather updates. Unlike the short-haul domestic flying, a long-haul flight over the pole segment with a volcano erupting or a typhoon lurking about can be loads of fun, especially needed when relying on North Korean ATC for in-flight weather updates, or being in the dead zone for HF reception off the north coast of Japan. None of this is either necessary or already accomplished by other means in place, and it's a bit easier to look in the printed manuals than to wait 5 minutes for Windows Vista to boot up. Books are nice, e-books not so much in general. So that was Runway Girl for this week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Lancaster Airport is finally getting scheduled service again.
Well, it's Cape Air, and they are flying from Lancaster to BWI, 5 flights a day, 7 days a week. And hear a lot of excitement in the community.